Welcome to the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. I'm Heath, and it's time to get into the bite. All right, folks, welcome to the show, South Florida's ultimate resource for everything local fishing. We're going to go over what's biting, who's catching it, where it's being caught. We're also going to cover your future marine forecast, moon phase, and tide charts. Everything you need to know to help keep you in the fight. Before we get into this, though, if you want to learn more about fishing, or just see some great, exciting offshore fishing adventures, you can start by hitting the subscribe button and joining the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Channel. All right, folks, we had an excellent weekend. Lovely weather finally, and the fish did not fail to show up. So let's get right into this fishing report. We're going to start out with Captain Alex. He has made his yearly pilgrimage up to Alaska. And he is, of course, he's out there catching the halibut with the folks, right? So that's, I know it's not Florida, but hey, he submitted something. So we're going to show it off. Captain Alex is a captain out of Marathon. When he gets back down, after the summer's over, hey, if you're looking for a captain in Marathon, go on ahead and hit him up. All right, this report's going to be all over the place right now. So we're going to try and hit up these inshore bites. Kevin McPherson, I got a couple of Goliath groupers going on right here. This is a nice little juvie. Man, he said Southwest Florida. So the Goliath grouper, the little guys are obviously biting. Let me show you another one. This is Todd Prince. He hooked up with one also. Let me see if he said where he got his. No, of course not. Hey, it's what it is. I'm not sure where they got them. But hey, still a couple of nice, solid Goliath groupers. All right, so that's some inshore bite. Let's see what else we got here. I know now we're going to head out to the reef, right? Let's head out to the reef and start talking about that. Here's what you get on the reef right now. Sharks. This is Michael Alt. Hey, it happens to the best of us. Sharks are here. They when they put the regulations on them, they really thrive. Let's go on ahead and hit up the reef. Morris, look at this, couple of donkeys, black grouper, and a mutton snapper. Hey, look at that, man. Good reef haul right there, solid. Putting it to them. These are the fish you can expect to catch this time of year. The fishing weather is out, and like I said, the fish are showing up. Mutton snapper are getting ready to spawn. Amberjack season just opened up. Same with grouper at the beginning of May. So, I mean, hey, come up while you get them. Let's see what else we got going on. I know I saw another solid reef haul down here. Give me a second. Like I said. All right, Nick Mosley. Look at that. Cirro mackerel, king mackerel, some yellowtails, and some little rock. Very good. Some people call them strawberry groupers, rock hinds, whatever. They're in the grouper aggregate. Hey, so, I always say swimming around with the yellowtail or these cirro mackerel. If you're chumming them up, expect the bite sometimes. All right, so there we go. The reef is, again, it's yellowtail time. Get out there and get them if you are doing that sort of stuff. If not, go out and troll them. We got our pelagic swimming around, and this is dolphin and tuna time. But let's check this out. Osmani, he said his uncle and dad's trip from last Thursday, 40-pound black grouper, 27-pound cabera snapper, 3 big muttons, a dog snapper, and another 19-pound grouper. I mean, and 2 18-inch yellowtails. Man, they have a great spot. Look at this fish. Man, that's some catches right there, man, and plenty of dinner. Look at the color on the, what was it, dog snapper? Is that what he said? Yes, dog snapper. I got it right. I read correctly. All right, hey, so the reef is on fire, folks. The grouper bite is hot. It's hot. Mutton snappers, yellowtails, everything inshore. We got the Goliath grouper, obviously. All right, so let's see if I've got any other stuff. Ignore all the pelagic stuff. Here we go. Justin, out of Tavernier. A couple of nice mutton snapper. Look at that. Big old hogs. So a little trivia about mutton snapper. When you see them and they look more green like this, those are shallow water mutton snappers. The ones that are pink are the deeper water ones. Just a little, trivia about mutton snappers, so you can tell what depths they were caught in. And there we go. Going straight on the smoker, caught in about 80 feet. Nice kingfish. This is Eric, right? Yes. He posted it on last week, so this is, I kind of reposted it there. Hey, perfect. Looks like he definitely got out on the kayak out by Dania Pier. All right, cool. Great catch. So the kingfisher here. All of our pelagics are here, right? We're definitely hitting them up. Yes, Joel also said he ran into the sharks with caught a couple of sharks, and obviously the sharks kind of caught him on one. Now that's too bad. That would have been a nice fish. All right, so as you can see, the reef is hot. The pelagics are hot. Everything. Let me show you. We also had Pedro. Pedro is down in Costa, getting some bucket list fish going on. Look at this nice rooster fish. So, you know, he's down there getting it done. I know it's not Florida, but hey, you submit it, we're going to show it. That's Pedro last week. Here we go. This is DMA Nikolai. I'm probably butchering that. All right, got on the triggerfish. Got some or thread fins. Some nice triggerfish and lane snapper. So nice reef haul, right? The reef is alive. You know, the triggerfish are great eating. So, you know, so are the lane. Perfect little fish nuggets and sandwiches. So, hey, he's going home and eating good. They said this is their last ocean fishing trip for the season. Went out of Fort Pierce, 4 to 10 miles out. Nice haul. There we go. Perfect. They will be back down in September. Let's look at what else we got going on. All right. Perfect. So that's looking at all right, let me get to the right here we go. Let's start off. This is Thomas. Obviously landed on a good school or a couple schools of mahi. Some schoolies, a couple of flips. He went and hit up the deep dropping and got himself a nice tilefish. Like I said, the tilefish season is open, so get out there and get them while you can before they shut it down. Nice mahi haul. Gonna have tacos for weeks on that one. Pedro with his goodness. Let me see. Here we go. Sean Saunders, Key Largo, 850 feet, tons of scattered weed with a little bit of formation. Saw a bunch of frigates, 83-degree water. The fish were hungry and moving fast. Lots of schools out there. He said he threw back at least 8 that were 20 and under, and he lost 2 nicer ones. So, hey, you know, and they're saying I'm also getting some information here. Nice job was at 700 and had to release like 9 20 inches. So, yeah, the dolphin right there. The small guys are out there. They're showing up. So, you know, get the keepers while you can before they all turn into little peanuts and you're releasing every single one of them. Let's see here. James Montgomery says he hasn't posted in a while, but here we go. Nice couple, nice, you know, definitely nice flipper dolphin. That's the bigger one, a gaffer. And there. So, folks, the mahi are here. The dolphin, whatever you want to call them, they're here, along with the tuna. Got Brian Freeman also. Nice couple, nice dolphin. Nice grouper, nice tilefish. I mean, man, he got on it. So again, the pelagics are out there, and if it's the middle of the day and the bite slows down and you got the electric reel, go out there and find your tilefish spots and start lacing into them. All right, dolphin. Here's some deep dropping stuff. This is Paul Smith. Lots of strong out there last week. Deep dropping out of Port Everglades. Luckily, he figured out he's the Minn Kota autopilot, which is it's kind of like those things have what's called spot lock, and go on in there, and that'll slow down your drift, especially when you were out in towards the stream. 4 fishermen on the boat hit our limit by 2 p.m. No signs of mahi, but let's see. Look at these. He's got some jumbo size blue line tilefish in there and a snowy grouper. Very good. Hit them up. So the deep dropping is happening, folks. The grouper and the grouper and the tilefish are making it happen. All right, so now let's go to our Monday post. We post every week. All right, Jim, 4J's Charters, folks. 4J's Charters out of Boynton Beach. Yeah, I've actually been to that marina before. Never mind. Getting sidetracked. Again, folks, 4J's Charters out of Boynton Beach. If you need a charter captain and you're in the area of Boynton, you're looking for one, hit up Jim. He's a great guy. Took out some folks that I've actually been out with before. Had a great. He's in on the dolphin, nice bull, couple butterball tunas. You know, look at that. Great stuff right there. All right, let's see what else is going on in the world of pelagics. John Penn, again, this from last week's post, so I just moved it over to this week. He got in on the dolphin. Again, this is what you're looking for right now, folks. Dolphin, here we go. This is Jim, again, 4J's Charters, and this is the guy I actually fished with Terry and his son and his wife. Great, they got a couple of nice tunas. I believe he said he lost a couple, but again, go out if you're looking for a charter captain. You know he's gonna get you in on some action. Go and have some fun, right? All right, here we go. More 4J's Charters on mahi. I mean, they're killing it, right? Nice little football blackfin. You know, several keepers going in the bucket, and it's taco time. Ray, this is Saturday off Miami, Key Biscayne, 1 of 3 before noon, 850 trolling ballyhoo. You can actually see the weed patch back here. So he's got some scattered weeds and he's trolling them, doing the thing. That's what you do. You find your forms of life, make sure there's stuff underneath them, and then you go for your dolphin. Hey, he ran into him. Perfect, cool. Yasmini with a nice wahoo. Haven't seen too many of them this week, but hey, you ran into them. You want to go in pretty colors. All right, I'm in the boat, and that's Richard out of Jupiter, 75 feet to 100 feet, doing some population control on the core. You know, hey, perfect. A boatload of them too. So, you know, hey, thank you for getting them out. That's all bait and food. The smaller ones, you know, smaller to me, false albacore, it's a tuna, right? The smaller guys ain't too big. The bigger, more jumbo ones, yeah, that's bait. But hey, he is cleaning and keeping them off our lines, right? You got to thank Richard for doing that, man. He loved it. All right, let's see. Gene Stein, drifting live pilchers, 750 out of Port Everglades. He said he got his first mahi limit and a bonus kingfish too. Perfect. Check that out. There we go. Nice table full of mahi and, like you said, the bonus kingfish. So he's got a ton of food going on there. Port Everglades, 750, and live baiting them up with, they say yes, live baiting pilchard. So you're going to want to flatline them, probably get a couple of them down deep and go with it from there. Sherry Dunham, slow day, but they did manage to hook up with a mahi at 780 on rigged ballyhoo. They were going to quit and accept the skunk, but gave 15 more minutes, and they ended up with the lone mahi, which that's all it takes to make your trip, right, folks? One fish, and you're good. Lots of time spent clearing seaweed. Happy to have my daughter and her boyfriend with us. So yeah, you know, hey, perfect. Great job on catch, and it's taco time as usual. Let's see, Carlos Ramos. Of course, some nice tacos. He said out of Homestead, 550. There you go. More dolphin. Like I said, folks, it is dolphin time. Dolphin and tuna. The big fat tuna too. Bruce Coles. Jumbo yellow edge grouper out deep dropping. So yeah, like I said, the grouper are there. And that's a very nice fish right there. So, and he corrected me. From far, I didn't even zoom in on it. I looked at it, called it a snowy. They do look like snowy groupers, right? Because of the white dots. But if you zoom in and you look at the yellow on the fins, that's how you get it. That's the yellow edge. Very similar to snowy grouper. Todd Prince. Good old fun with some reef permit. Going out there and getting them on. Hey, this is, you know, this looks like, yeah, it's on the shallow reef somewhere. And you got it done with a nice permit. So these are, every fish looks like they're biting, you know. Jason Reese, 90-minute troll before his wife got sick. Unfortunately, had to, the bite is good, but hey, family is family, right? Get out there. 180, they're biting 180 green water, 290 blue water, tuna and mahi all over. Jason Reese putting in the work, getting the nice black fins and the mahi going on. Jason Reese, Guggen the Pro Offshore Angler. YouTube channel, check him out. Great guy, great angler too, and obviously a great family man. Not playing a tough guy. Bruce Coles on top of that yellow edge ended up with a nice wahoo, right? So he had a great day out there, man. He got put on the fish and bringing home some excellent food, right? Between that deep water grouper, deep dropping, and the wahoo. Hey, that's our second wahoo on this post. So there we go. All right. So that's what we're looking at. And we got the special this week. This is amazing. Larry McNerney hooked up. And I know you can hear it. That reel is just screaming right now. And they're going to go. You can see him circling around. Go and start chasing down the fish.
I see it, yeah.
Blue marlin on white. So, yeah, I mean, I listened to this video earlier. The sound of that reel just feeling out. You start seeing the fish jump in the background here. There it goes. Taking off. Great feeling. Awesome fish. They did a great job of everything that was going on and how, the gear and everything, and made it happen. They got it, they worked it for about an hour and got it to the, what did he say? Here, I'll read a little story about it. All right. There was only going to be one chance to get this right. We only get out fishing a handful of time year lately, and there was no warm-up round with the smaller fish. Trolling 750 east of St. Lucie Inlet, trolled through a school of flying fish that they spooked, made a big circle around as they approached the area where they were, the flying fish were again. Port outrigger popped. Amanda took the rod, and as soon as we realized it was a blue marlin on a smaller rod and reel combo, we needed to chase it. Worked hard for an hour before getting revived, relieved. What an amazing experience we were blessed with. Hook was bent and broke when they removed it. Every single piece of gear was instrumental. Shimano TLD 25. That is a tiny reel blue marlin on a star stand-up rod with 30-pound Momoy line. Trolled an island sailor bait masters ballyhoo on a bead chain hook. He's got a Grady White Islander with Suzuki outboard. So everything, hey, he gave a ton information right there. So let's check out some more video. Here we go. Play. Awesome fish right there. This is definitely,
I think it's huge.
happy that they posted this and gave a ton of information. All right. Now let's take a look at some pictures. She is, Amanda on the rod. The release. There you go. Pulling the nice fish too. Very nice. There's I'm not sure how many people they are or anything, but hey, they're enjoying their fish. They're reviving it. There she is. That gives you some of how big the fish was. That was sizable marlin. Not a 1,000-pound monster, but hey, that's for that little TLD 25. That's a great fish. Great catch. Reviving it. The celebratory. Right. Get in the water. There she is with her lure. That's a trophy right there. All right, folks. Let's get into the weather, shall we? Great show right there. Thank you. All right. Weather, right? It's hot, but we've got great weather. weather all throughout the rest of the week. It's going to start raining here come Thursday. I know that. I watched that according to our local, but we'll see if that holds true. So let's pull up Windy real quick and start going over the weather. So if this is your first time, you're new to the reports, I use Windy and WindFinder mainly to get the forecast going. They're fairly accurate, and these two websites, the description, they are in the description, so you just copy the link, click on it, paste it. Cool thing about Windy is if you're on a PC and you want to see your, let's say we're in BOCA, I want to see what the wind is right now. I just click on it, 13 knots from the south. So, and how we use it is there's a color-coded chart down here. So if you see the more blues, you see the greens, you're in between 10 and 20 somewhere. But again, like, you can just click on a specific area and it will show you what's going on. So this is right now today. Let's look at tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. We got a southeasterly flow going on. We're going to have a front come through around Thursday, which will be that rain, right? Not a cold front, like a back end front, what they mean. Like to call it. So tomorrow morning we got a southeasterly flow, which will lay our seas down. Windy at all, 9 knots from the southwest. So, but that south westerly flow is going to elevate our temperature, looking at mid 90s, and gonna be hot. West Coast looking good. They got the southwesterly flow too, so they might have a little bit of chop going on there because of the direction of the winds. But the folks on the East Coast were on the leeward side. Vero Beach, everybody looking at southwest. The Keys, southerly winds at around 8 knots from the southeast. So everything's looking good. We're looking at definitely doable fishing weather, and it's going to be throughout the rest of the week. The time of year is, and later in the afternoon, it's going to turn southerly, right? Pick up a little bit, be in the mid double digits from the south. The Keys look like they will lay down in the afternoon, down to about 1 knot. The West Coast still same. Up north towards Vero, you got that southeast wind at around 12 knots in the afternoon. But again, the seas are going to be really, really light work. Thursday morning, west wind again. So here comes that front, right? And we will see the water push Thursday morning. The seas are very nice. 2 knots from the east, the wind's going all over the place because of the approaching front. West Coast, still looking pretty. The West Coast is very shallow for several miles out, so regardless of wind direction, it's not bumpy, but maybe a little choppy. Thursday afternoon, as you can see, our front is starting to roll on through. That looks like it's it right there. Wind's going all over the place. You can in a spiral like most from the south and turn to the east, coming from it almost looks like it's spiraling right up the lake. Friday morning, again, west winds. Inshore about 8 knots from the west. The shore you get, the more it picks up. Vero Beach, same stuff, 11 knots from the west. So we're looking at nice flat seas for the rest of the week, and it will change direction and get all sorts of weird convection stuff going on in the afternoon. But hey, the seas are going to be light work, right? 1 to 2 for the remainder of the week. Friday morning, very nice stuff. Tri-County area, 2 knots from the northwest. So Friday's looking at a beautiful day. The West Coast, Tampa Bay, the Skyway Bridge, Skyway Pier guys, they're looking at a northerly wind at around 8 knots. So it's good stuff. Naples and all the way down into Everglades Park. They got a northeasterly flow, which will make them lay down fairly good. And we're back. Some days where it's going to keep happening. Oh, what's on? I'm trying to bring up the other. Bear with me here. Technical difficulties, folks. Takes a computer to really screw things up, in case you didn't know. Come on, there we go. Hey, look at that. Hey. Your screen is black and only hear. I'm sorry, my internet is crazy. Hey, yeah. So yeah, I'm back. Anyway, all right. Okay, let's try and blast through this. Where were we? We were Thursday, Friday afternoon. Looking great. Let's head into the weekend real quick before the internet dies again. Saturday, looking great. Tri-County area, minimal. Vera, west, 5 knots. Keys, northeast, 8 knots. That's Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, wind picks up again from the east. All right, 7 knots. That's good. It's going to push our goodies in. Some of your sargasso weed, the debris around there, hopefully start to bunch up the weed lines instead of having them scattered all over the place. I'm hearing, reports of just the weed lines being scattered everywhere, which is making the mahi fishing difficult. But, hey, when they're out there, and you got to put in that work and, figure it out. Sunday, nice wind from the east in the morning, 11 knots on the east. So obviously, along with the elevation of the rain, it looks like Sunday the wind's going to start picking up. Afternoon to lay down the Keys, they are 13 knots on the east. So Sunday is looking at a little bit of elevated wind, probably that's going to raise our and decrease the period in between the waves. Monday morning, again, same thing. So the wind starts kicking in to Sunday into Monday, and the wind turns on yet again. Monday afternoon, more the same. Wind low, it's not bad, not going to be ridiculously bad, but it is going to push some water and make those waves. Tuesday morning, same thing. Wind coming from the southeast at 12 knots. So our seas are going to look like they're going to start picking up. Starting Sunday and then heading in the middle of the week. So this week we've got great weather all the way through until Saturday, and then come Sunday the wind will start picking up. Sunday you could probably still be doable, but then come Monday our waves are probably going to pick up. Let's check out the wave heights. Right now we're light work. Right, the Keys you're looking at like 2-foot waves. From the southeast, Miami waves at a 3-second. It's minimal stuff all over. That is tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, same stuff. The seas tend to pick up a little bit. Tri-County area, Vero, they're looking at 2 foot, 5-second period from the southeast. Keys, 1 foot seas. Over here in the west coast, 1 foot from the southwest. Oops, what did I do? All right, so that is tomorrow. Thursday, not much more. 2 foot seas from the south. That's our Tri-County, Miami, light stuff. 1 foot seas. Keys all the way down to the lower Keys they're looking like nothing. 0 foot seas at a 3-second period. I gotta love that. No waves, but they're gonna hit you at seconds. Same stuff. Light seas up and down the east coast. You get the more they'll tend to pick up, and the further offshore you get, of course, in the Vero area. They turn into 2, 3. Everglades National Park, light stuff. Tampa looking great. Low, all the way up. 1 foot seas, 0 foot seas. That is Thursday. Friday picks up a little bit in the morning. We're looking at 1 foot, but they're blowing west. We've got the front that's going to pass through. this west wind is going to make these seas really lay down. So now Friday, when you've got this westerly waves, that's I'll push our seaweed out to shore a little bit, but then it will shift directions in the afternoon, and 1 foot seas at 4-second period. The Keys, light stuff up and down the coast all the way into Friday. Good stuff. Saturday morning, we've got northeast swell happening, 1 foot at 7 seconds. So remember, the period, as your period, it turns more into a swell. 7 seconds is pretty much a swell. So Saturday we're looking at, maybe the wind will be light, but we're looking at the swell coming in. Same thing down into the Keys, 1 foot at 3 seconds. So they don't much have the swell as much as, Tri-County area and heading up into the Treasure Coast and north. Tampa Bay, 1 foot, 3-second period, a little bit of chop over there because they got that wind coming from the west. Sunday morning, like I said, the wind starts picking up. We're looking at 2 foot seas from the northeast. So the swell diminishes as our period shrinks, 5 seconds. And as we head a little bit further south, we're 2 foot seas, right? So, probably 2 to 3 or so. As you head into the Keys and you get lower there, they tend to pick up a little bit, and the period shortens into 3 seconds. So it'll be a little bit choppy if you are planning on going down to the Keys and heading out there. Tri-County area, not too bad. 2 foot at 6 seconds or so. That's what we're looking at. St. Lucie, 2 foot at 7 seconds. So the swell is maintaining up north a little bit. Sunday afternoon, looking at the same thing. 2 foot seas, 5 seconds. So Sunday, again, that wind's going to start picking up, which is why we're seeing the elevation of the sea level and the wave heights. And here we go. So Monday, here it comes, right? So this is where you start seeing 4 foot seas down in the Keys. Again, with that wind ripping from the east. They're saying 2 foot seas, so maybe it'll hold on. The period's definitely going to shorten. 4-second period, 3 foot seas at a 5-second period, towards Boynton Beach, Delray-ish area, Lantana. Monday afternoon. Let's go, yeah, same stuff. So, the seas are picking up, and then as you head into Tuesday, it's the same stuff. 2 to 3. So we're looking at 2 to 4 with these winds pushing in the low double digits. Okay, that's what we got going on, folks, and it's still definitely fishing weather. Now remember, we have hit the rainy season, so we're going to start seeing those periods that stuff where the storms, the thunderstorms show up in the afternoon. They'll be hanging out probably over the seas. Sometimes they're going to form and move west. Sometimes they'll form over land and head east. Another dolphin in the boat. Yes. Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. All right, let's look at our rain, right? Because the rain is going to come starting Thursday. So for the next couple of days, we got dry skies. We're still dry, and as that front approaches, right? Tomorrow afternoon, Thursday morning, a little bit more. Thursday afternoon, here comes again. We got a front coming, right? Not a cold front, just a front. So as you can see, there it is. That's this is the front. So Friday, Thursday night, kind of getting there. Friday, it's headed offshore, and Friday afternoon. So again, our rain chances starting Thursday are going to be there. This looks like we've got inshore rain happening Friday afternoon. Saturday morning, fairly dry. Not much of a chance on Saturday, which is good. It'll dry out. So it's looking like Saturday and Sunday will be dry. And then as we head into next week, when all that wind starts, the wind's really going to clouds the direction of where it is, and we're looking like we're dried out. So we're just going to be windy and dry. And then there we go. That's next Tuesday, the afternoon showers. The pattern of those afternoon showers starting to pop up is going to happen. And again, folks, we are about a week and a half away from the beginning of hurricane season. Fun. Hopefully, we stay in the clear and we just have a bunch of, near misses as usual. All right, so that's windy. All right, let's head on to WindFinder, which is the numerical version of our weather forecast. And then we keep on keeping on, right? Having a nice show. We had a ton of people that, shared their catches this weekend. It was great. The weather is still looking good, so if we can get out there, we get out there, right? All right, here we are, Tuesday. Wednesday, tomorrow. Winds from the south, a little bit from the southeast, below 10 miles an hour. So again, if we're knots and miles an hour are interchangeable, don't ever let it get really confusing. A knot is 1.1 miles per hour. So if they say 5 miles an hour, interchangeable. 9 knots is 10 miles an hour. You get where I'm going. All right, dry, a little cloudy tomorrow afternoon. Our wave heights look 1.387 7-second period. Good stuff, right? As you head into the night, it tends to get a little bit choppier, but that's the middle of the night. Thursday, cloudy, sunny in the afternoon, which is good. Get out there and hit up that tile fishing, that deep dropping, them groupers and all that stuff. Same thing with Friday, right? Nope, not much moisture in the air here Thursday overnight. Obviously, when the front passes through. So bear that in mind. Thursday, looking at a golden day out on the water. Look at 1 foot seas at 8-second period from the east. Same thing Friday, 1 foot seas, and starts to pick up a little bit Friday night, 8-second period. So we're looking at, very much a swell. Again, we saw the wind blowing from the west in the early morning hours, which is going to create that swell. And in the afternoon, it'll shift. So, we'll see. Here's your west wind, right? Creating that swell. All right, Saturday, winds from the south to southeast, low double digits in the afternoon, picks up a little bit. Seas, again, 1 to 2 foot seas, 8-second period, and then the wind starts elevating. So in the morning, light work. So, if Sunday's your day, looks like, get out there. We got some moisture in the morning hours, but, we're having a little bit of conflict here between WindFinder and Windy. They're saying seas, 2 to 3 foot seas. Sunday, 7-second period though. Hey, so we're still dealing with the swell. Monday, those seas start coming at us from the southeast. Elevated winds, low double digits, not very gusty at all. Wind picks up as night approaches, and so the seas are picking up too, right? 3 foot seas. So I'm going to call that 2 to 4, and the period, of course, shortens down to 5 to 6 seconds. So the swell diminishes come Monday and Tuesday. And it looks like the wind is going to hang on. They're predicting it throughout the remainder of the week. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. So that's our weather forecast. Now let's go on ahead and take a look at our moon. For those of you that fish by the moon, get that wahoo bite. We did see a couple of wahoo this past week, which was great. We are now heading towards the dark side of the moon, which means the moon is waning, okay? When you're heading towards the dark side of the moon, that means the moon is waning. When you're heading towards the full moon and it's getting brighter and brighter, that means it's waxing, just to explain the moon phase. So today, right now, we're at about half moon, 48% waning, right? Tomorrow, Wednesday, 37%. Thursday, 27%. Friday, 17%. Saturday, 9%. Sunday, 3%. Monday, new moon. So Monday to Tuesday, new moon, right? This is when the guys get out and they go and do their best bait fishing. The goggle eye guys, the thread fin guys. That's how they do is they bait fish bite under the cover of darkness. And it's also I prefer when the moon is waning and you're heading more towards the darkness. That's when your pelagics are going to feed better because they're not out eating all night. Even though we had a very illuminated sky this last week and a great bite, it was because we finally had good weather and the masses could get out there and feed the fish that were hungry. So that's how that works. So we had a great bite this weekend, and hopefully it will carry on through the remainder of this week into the weekend. And if you get out there in the sporty stuff like it's going to be, go on ahead. So that's our moon phase. We're heading towards the new moon early next week. So if you're fishing that wahoo bite with those that moon phase, not the thing to happen. You still got another few weeks before it comes in again. And we will soon be looking at the June full moon, which is another wahoo migration should be happening. It happens every year. You know, you got your November one, fall, then you've got the March one where the big females come in, and then in June where the males, the skinny guys, see a few year or so ago, we had a great June wahoo fight. All right, let's talk tides, right? Tides are very important if you are fishing that water flow out of inlets. And a very important thing is to be fishing the outgoing tide. We say this every week, week in and week out. If you don't understand tides, here's the way it works. When the outgoing tide pushes out all the sediment, the microorganisms, all the chlorophyll, the phytoplankton, everything, the little fish come in and eat it, then the bigger fish come in and eat them. If you are fishing the incoming tide, if the tide is rising, you are going to catch nothing because that cycle of life is not happening. So if you're fishing in an inlet, especially for those guys that get out there on the jetties, or if you're trolling right in front of the inlet, or fishing a reef right in front of the inlet, drifting, doing whatever you're doing. If you're fishing the incoming tide, you're at the wrong phase, you're at the wrong cycle of the 12-hour tide shift, right? You want to be fishing the outgoing tide. If you fish the ingoing tide, you're going to catch nothing. All right, so right now, and then again, it also applies to the time of day, right? So we've got our outgoing tide about a little bit more than halfway as the sun rises. The same thing as the sun sets, you're at the end of the tide right now. So, you know, better here in the morning. So if your outgoing tide is in the middle of the day, when the bite's slow, that's also not going to work. So, you know, the water flow of this stuff does apply. So Wednesday, we're at about mid-tide as the sun rises and about 2/3 of the way as the sun is setting. So, you know, the afternoon bite and the morning bite should be good. Fishing that water flow. The tide cycle is in line with the cycle of the sun and the earth spinning, right? So it works out. Sunrise, we're at about a little bit more than, you know, 1/3 of the way through come Thursday, and we're right at about the middle of it as the sun sets. Great time to get out there and fish that water flow of the inlet. That cycle of life and the push of the food source is in your favor as the time of day is right for fishing, right? Sunrise, again, you're about 1/3 of the way through Friday, and you're a little bit more 1/3 of the way through the fall, so you actually have that water flow going. It's kind of tough, like here, if you see Saturday, the tide will just be starting to pull as sunrise goes on. So that's a good time, right? It might take a few minutes to wake them up, get them out there and start having the food sources and the predators come in. And then the same thing with Sunday, you'll probably be at the slack tide, right at the top of the tide change coming up. So again, it'll take it a few minutes for to shake the cobwebs out and get the fish calling and coming in and feeding that stuff. And you know, as night falls, again, Saturday and Sunday, you're looking at a good time to get, because you will have that water flow on your side. So that's how the tide flows work. This week, they are in line with the time of day where you should be fishing those tide cycles. All right, so there we go. That's that. All right, folks, before we head out, I just want to say, if you are in the market for some fishing apparel, you're looking to get you one of them UPF 50 fishing shirts, go on the website. It's in the description here. Our sponsor, WindFinder, they were gracious enough to make South Florida saltwater fishing shirts, right? You can get the fishing shirt with the logo. Again, these are those UPF 50 shirts. You can get the logo on the front, logo on the back. They got a million different colors. Check it out. You can get them with gator built in. You can get it with a hood. You can get it with just a hood. You know, very patriotic ones. Again, all sorts of different colors, and you're supporting the brand. This is not a fly-by-night company. I've been with WindRider for a few years now, and they make some great products other than just these shirts, but they make, you know, these are shirts that I'm promoting because obviously South Florida Saltwater Fishing, the brand. Anyway, UPF 50 shirt means you don't have to wear sunscreen. very good thing. They dry really quick. So if you get wet and you're running and gunning, you know, they're going to dry out quick. They're going to keep you cool in the summer. They're going to keep you warm in the winter. That's the effect of these UPF 50 shirts. So if you're in the market for some fishing apparel, get out there and get some awesomeness on you, right? All right, there we go. Now, lastly, before we shut it down for the day, if you are on Facebook, I want to ask you to come join South Florida Saltwater Fishing Group. The page looks like this, minus the date. It's up here at the top, but you can't really see it. It says South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. Report is in red because of that blue stripe, because I am the administrator. And again, this page, this is a Facebook group, a private group. This is what drives this weekly report. We had a great report this week. Every Monday, I put out a little post that says, hey, show us what you caught. If you put your post on here, anything that you put on, regardless of if it's in that Monday post or not, if you post something, you're guaranteed to be showcased on Tuesday's live stream, which it is. And you also, have a chance of being the thumbnail for the live stream on the YouTube channel, which obviously this week it was this great catch by Amanda McNerney. So, with that blue marlin out of St. Lucie. So again, folks, it's a private group. You have to answer a couple of questions. What's your favorite fish to catch? And do you agree to the rules? The rules are simple. No YouTube videos, no loitering, no harassing people, no being nasty. Everybody's, just a family-friendly community that is here to just show off their catches, give a little bit of information, and say, hey, this is what we caught it. Maybe a little bit of something. Nobody's asking for your spots. Nobody's asking for nothing. We're just asking that, this is not the place to come and, if you want to sell yourself. Obviously, if you are a YouTuber, you got a YouTube channel, definitely promote your channel. Jason Reese, Google Pro Offshore, obviously. I promote YouTube channels. I'm not afraid to. Also, our charter boat captains. We've got Neil Link out of Palm Beach, palmbeachcharters.net. We've got Jim, 4J's Charters. We got Alex down in Marathon. Also, Starlight 101, the drift boat from out of Pompano Beach, right next to the Hillsborough Inlet. Everybody who puts posts on, really helps drive this and lets people know what is out there fighting. And that's the sole purpose of this. So again, if you are on Facebook, go on ahead and ask to join South Florida Saltwater Fishing Group. All right. That about does it for this episode. We had a great one, and I hope it continues all the way through to this week. See you next Tuesday. Till then, South Florida Saltwater Fishing, going wherever the cool wind takes us.